Okay, this is so cool. So now this one is in E minor, and you hear this theme. And you kind of hear some different elements like playing around that. Like a cool thing is like I think it's called theme and variation. And so like you pick a theme, and then you can hear different. There's a marimba in there. You also hear these strings doing what's called a tremolo, which is basically they're taking like the far end of their bow, and they're just moving really fast back and forth, and it's going. And when you have a bunch of strings doing that, it makes it feel just kind of like a pad around. So like one thing I like to do is I take like I'll write down all the elements happening in a song. And so like strings doing like violins doing tremolo, marimba playing off of the theme. They're not playing the theme perfectly. And then what instrument is playing? The glockenspiel is playing the theme, you know, that you're remembering. There's a piano that's like, right? So like there's a lot going on, but it's like, how does it not feel that way?
Yeah. It feels like one thing that is really done really well here is the instrument choice, where nothing competes with another. Everything really has its own space, whether that's like it's higher up or lower down, or it's a bell versus something like a string or a piano. And so there's nothing competing, but they all complement each other so well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's I think another thing, like the soundtrack for the first game was a lot of piano. And I think that really matched that dark, brooding sort of feel.
Okay.
And this with the strings, again, just brings in that sort of fast-paced movement, or just something a little bit silkier, if you will.
Ooh. Oh, interesting word choice. A flute.
This is Moss Grotto.
Oh. Okay, so they made that feel super seamless, but it's actually kind of wild what they did. Well, first of all, I love also how expressive this melody is. They do this thing, you could call them grace notes, I guess, where you're like, you know, you kind of hear that happening. I think that's really cool, really expressive. Right? And
yeah,
then,
like if you played it without that, what does it sound like?
Like the beginning. Yeah, so they just like added that element as the song went on. You can just like, they just take it from here to here, here to there. So it's pretty cool. Another thing, so let me play all the root notes again, because I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into that cinematic thing again. So like you have... Okay, we have these chords, and then they go where we just stop. This is a crazy chord. This is basically, you're in a minor key, and you can play, so say you're in E minor, and all of these notes work over F major. It makes like an F major 7 Lydian sound. Right, you have this sharp 11 in there. So it still feels like you're in E minor. You play the same notes. And then you play a G. These all work in G too. Like, this is literally the definition of cinematic. So like, if somebody asks me to play something cinematic, I always go to these types of things. Right? So yeah, let's keep listening. there's a little moment I want to talk about. It goes. Those chords are cool. It kind of goes to a little major thing here. Like these are all part of E major. So this is like an F sharp minor, and then this is an E major over a G sharp. And then they go back to that sound we had earlier. So also, like, you can mess around, like you can play all these notes and you keep this up top.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. Another thing that this one had me thinking of, and it's so fitting, I think. So I was doing some research. Christopher Larkin is the composer for this video game and for Hollow Knight. And he was definitely influenced by Koji Kondo. He said in, I guess, an interview, I don't know, I read it on his Wikipedia page.
Oh, nice.
Shout out Wikipedia.
Let's go.
And Koji Kondo did the music for the Legend of Zelda series, and which are just beautiful soundtracks, some of my favorites. And this, as you've been playing this on piano, as we've been listening to it, the instrument choice, it really makes me think of like in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where you're hanging out with the Deku tree, which is this green grassy area, which is perfectly fitting for the Moss Grotto. So something about the like so much about that choice of instrumentation and melody really complements the setting.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, dude, I hope I get to make music for a video game one day.
Yeah,
that is definitely on the bucket list.
That would be awesome.
It ends just like the first one did. Which is
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Brings back that little motif.
Exactly.
But just completely isolated again, sort of just like, you know, this whole game, you're solo. You meet friends along the way, you meet people, but it's all just you.
It's about you. Interesting.
Yeah. Cool. Beautiful, beautiful songs. And one thing you noticed right away when you listened to it and I was playing the other day is you said it's real strings.
Yeah, it's real strings. Like what you can do is like you can take one string player, keep a mic in one spot, just have them move around the mic, and just play that part over and over.
Cool.
And it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
You make a section, so yeah, it's really interesting.
Very
super cool how you can do that.
Very cool. So, you know, in the past we've talked about what would you take away from this as a producer. I think my question for this is, how do you create setting in something cinematic or in a song that you're writing, whether that's for a video game or that's just for a song that you're writing and releasing on to Spotify or something?
Well, this is instrumental, so like if I'm trying to create a vibe, I do think harmony and rhythm are a good place to start. So like think about how those chords that I was playing earlier, how do they make me feel? And like there's really cool people to check out, like Jacob Collier is one. He's very like attached emotionally to each type of chord. And so I think forming your own relationship with every type of chord, like different chord progressions and stuff like that, I think that gets you like a really, really good start. And then rhythm
how do you go about doing that?
Well, like I think sitting for a long time, just being patient and like getting things in your ear over a matter of time. So like just thinking like, you know, these all give you a certain type of feeling. And then what's cool about harmony is like that's just the foundation. And then like you add all these colorful elements to that. And then it doesn't just sound like that. You know, you have all the bells and you have the strings and you have the marimba and the flute, and that really brightens it up in a really cool way. So I would say like these two songs are really good examples of how impactful harmony is.
Yes. Yeah, the
So I
harmony
think
is so beautiful.
It's so
throughout.
beautiful. Yeah. So I think really getting familiar with harmony and like, challenging yourself to that little root note exercise I did earlier, because it's just one chord. So then it's about learning what the root notes are below it and attaching feelings to that. And then, so that's cinematic music. Now you maybe like a pop song is like, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel played like that versus played on guitar with some drums behind it? Different feeling each time. So
yeah, and so taking a moment to actually absorb that and think about how it makes you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
So that when you want to create what you want and create the setting you want, you can recall these moments that you've had that exact feeling.
Your brain really
what was in there.
Yeah, your brain just goes there.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. So
cool. So listen to a lot of music and think about a lot of music.
There you go.
All right.
Think about a lot of music, everybody.
All right, that's the assignment.
Cool. All right, enjoy your macaroons. Have a good night.
All right, have a good one.